attack on the Capitol, an attack on American democracy. 4 people are dead after a day of unprecedented violence from a pro-Trump mob. This is a special edition of CBS This Morning on this Thursday, January 7th, 2021. You're looking at the United States Capitol this morning. Very happy to say that it is still standing after what we witnessed yesterday. Anthony, I have to say I wasn't so sure. There were so many times. My heart broke many times yesterday watching.
One of the most hideous days in American history, Gail.
Very difficult.
I don't know what else to say.
I have to say, I'm so sorry. I'm still very rattled by what we all witnessed yesterday. It was an attack on democracy itself by President Trump's supporters.
Yeah, good morning, Gail, but this is not a good morning. You have to reach back more than 200 years in our history to find any day that compares to this one. And I would say I am without words to describe it, except there is a phrase from President Trump's own inaugural address that seems to fit, and that phrase is American carnage. Trump incites mob was the headline in today's New York Times. The Washington Post, meanwhile, comes in with Trump mob storms Capitol. And that pretty much captures how it went here yesterday in the waning days of President Trump's term. Some members of his cabinet have discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to remove him from office.
This morning and in icy quiet. Now, that's very different than the chilling scenes we saw yesterday as the Capitol, one of the symbols of American democracy, essentially came under attack as tens of thousands of Trump supporters descended upon it, egged on by the president and his baseless claims of election fraud. Trump urged supporters to march to the Capitol at his Save America rally.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler decided not to challenge her state's results a day after losing her own bid for re-election.
And I cannot now in good conscience object to the certification of these electors.
A series of top Republicans condemned not only the day's violence, but the president's role in stoking it.
What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States.
Some of the strongest rebukes of the night came from one of President Trump's most loyal defenders.
I hate it being this way. Oh, my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see, all I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
Many Republicans were asked last night whether they felt any sense of responsibility for stoking the sense of anger and grievance among these protesters by refusing for months to acknowledge that President-elect Biden had won, or by pushing these unsubstantiated claims of election fraud. Tony, some of those Republicans said they felt no responsibility, others didn't answer, and some just blamed the president.
But this morning, there are calls for President Trump to once again be impeached or, and we do not say this lightly, for the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment, removing him from office because he is unfit. The president, for his part, is still, quote, clueless about how outraged, and I would add heartsick, Americans were as they watched the violence unfold yesterday.
Twitter locked the president's account for 12 hours and is threatening to permanently ban him. All 4 living former presidents expressed their outrage. George W. Bush called the attack on the Capitol insurrection, saying in a statement, "I am appalled by the reckless behavior of some political leaders since the election. This is how election results are disputed in a banana republic, not our democratic republic." Now, a senior White House official tells CBS News that they feel the administration's legacy has been tarnished by what happened at the Capitol.
Yeah, tarnished is the word. Thank you for this. Is going to be one of those days that you will always remember where you were and what you were doing as you sat and watched it. But I have another question. Who are we, John, as a people?
Who are we as a country will be determined in the coming days and in the ways in which people respond to this. There's an opportunity for leadership here, just as there's been an opportunity at crisis moments over the last many years in this country. And so people who are in leadership need to step up. But we'll see if they do. The president is the obviously most recent actor who inspired these events. He fed his supporters lies for months. He called them to Washington. His son and Rudy Giuliani whipped them up, and then the president said, go march down to the Capitol and don't be weak. But the members of the president's party who watched all of this for years and made excuses for the president's behavior, who watched traditions and norms be eroded, who watched the very nature of truth be assaulted, bear responsibility for this as well. And as they see the president continue to lie about what happened in the election and say nothing, they're committing the same mistake they did.
John, we're still in a very tentative position, though, because President Trump has 14 days still in the White House. He's incited a riot. He reportedly resisted calling in the National Guard. He hasn't condemned the violence. He still, even though he says he's committed to an orderly transition, is spewing lies about an election he lost, and it wasn't even close. So what do you do in these 14 days to keep order in the country?
When he continues to put the thorn in the shoe by saying the election was stolen and not having someone stand up and say that is a lie, you're leaving the basis. The poison is still there.
I will say at the top of the show, I mentioned you have to reach back 200 years to find any comparison to yesterday in our history. That comparison was when British forces burned the Capitol in 1814, not supporters of a sitting president.
As jarring as it was very, I have to say, gratifying to see you all come back in. And you made the final declaration that Joe Biden was, in fact, going to be president, as we all knew for quite some time now. It was great to see it at 3:39. Even Senator Graham, I wonder if you had a chance to talk to him, said, count me out, enough is enough. Joe Biden said yesterday, step up, Mr. President, and condemn this. America, stand up. Do you think that finally, maybe this is a tipping point, that something will be done with President Trump?
Here, 26 people arrested here on Capitol grounds, and there will be more arrests in the days to come. In the past, President Trump's tweets have characterized Black Lives Matter protesters as thugs. Yesterday, Tony, he called the mobs who breached the Capitol here great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long.